mentioned webcasts, articles, core plays, statistical analysis, projections, all of it up on runpickersports.com.
Come for the amazing plays. Listen to JT Hayes botch every single name. It's so much fun. Our team's been on a major heater in the NBA. We're going to carry on this momentum to the MLB season. Get on board right now. Sign up for a premium membership to runpuresports.com. It's only $80 a month, $80 a month. Monthly access to our premium MLB content, all the other sports, golf, MMA. It's not just baseball during the summer, people. We got a lot going on. NBA still going on once baseball starts. For an extra $20 a month, you get the bet side. I'm telling you, add it. Joey Workby, we're just killing it on the baseball side. He's perfect during the World Series. What are you waiting for? Sign up today. Start running pure.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports NBA Hardwood Show. I'm your host, Mangone. I'm back with the two basketball players, right? We had the big game this weekend. We've heard talk from Tony on the college basketball show. We've heard talk from Title yesterday. We got to get all the talk here now. Let's go to the winner first. Let's go to TitleTown. Hurts me to say it, but he was very impressive, right? He's out there crushing it. Title, how's it going over there? And what do you want to say to Tony about the basketball game?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, not talked about it a little bit. It was fun. It was fun to get out there. We put on a show for the people. I always came in saying I was a big favorite. I would let my game do the talking. BigT is one of the best talkers there is in this industry, no doubt. He convinced a lot of people he was a massive favorite. I mean, it was a 2-day bender for sure for both of us, but I trusted my game. I trust my jump shot fell on Sunday where it didn't all week on Friday and Saturday when we were playing outdoors, but it felt good to get the win. I was definitely a little tired at the end. BigT was definitely tired, but I thought I was a better basketball player, and it felt good to finally get some BigT giblets.
All right, and then we'll head over to you. Oh, BigT! We heard that all weekend long from your cousins, which was incredible. They just always say it like literally every hour, every 30 minutes. I heard someone say it. But excited to be here with you and talk to us about the game. I heard Jason Tatum had some dizziness the other night, and that's why he sat. I had some dizziness. You had some dizziness. It was a tough basketball game, but you came out there and you still inspired, right? You didn't quit, which you got to give yourself some credit for there.
Yeah, no, there wasn't any dizziness. I was just freaking tired. I didn't have the stamina. Title was better than I thought. I give him credit. He definitely had that nice step back. He either way, he's going to give me problems on his offensive side. I'm not going to be able to guard him at all. 3 dribbles, unlimited dribbles. Defense is always going to be the issue. Offense, I still think I can score. If I get in shape, I can definitely score. But he got the job done. And, I mean, I'm willing to run it back too. I've said it. Let me get in a little shape. We'll meet again down the line. I'll avenge the title. I'll let him beat me twice. When he beats me again, then ultimate bragging rights. But in all seriousness, though, he did impress me. Played great. I like his game a lot. Nasty step back. Good game. I give him credit without a doubt. I didn't come in the best shape, but that's not an excuse. Either way, he got the job done. I give him credit.
Now, Tony, here's the big question for you. Who wins between TitleTown and JSU? That's the big question there, because you've seen both games, right? I've seen both games as well. JSU even said, I think he was talking about on the bet show a little bit, he's like, he kind of wants the smoke, he was saying. And on top of that, JSU said he didn't even play great at the RG party, right? He's like, I didn't even play that well. So what do you say? Who do you think is better, TitleTown or JSU in hoops?
Yeah, I mean, JSU is definitely going to give him more issues. He's going to have the opposite problems I have. JSU is going to be able to hang with them much more on the defensive end, but JSU is going to have a lot more issues scoring on Title. Like, I know I can score on Title without it. Even tired, I was able to score a little bit. JSU is not going to be able to score as easy on Title just because he's just short. He's a little fella, but Title's going to have a lot harder time scoring on JSU too than me, because he's going to be able to stick with that step back. He's got a solid core. It'll be interesting. It's what makes it fun. They can talk a little trash and play. I'm all for that.
I'm definitely excited for that game because I really don't know who would win. I think it's pretty close, but I do think JSU.
It's a different matchup. It's a different match, and JSU is going to definitely come in shape without a doubt. That's the funny part. I still haven't watched it, but we were shooting in warmups. I know I had to make like 40 out of 45, and Title was making just as many. I mean, those warm-up shots before we got tired were going in easy. And I don't know. I want to run it back. We're going to run it back at some point. I don't know when. The next party, I don't know if it'll be this summer. And whenever it is, we'll definitely run it back, though.
All right, Title. So 2 questions to you. Was Tony more impressive than you thought? Like, did you think he was a little better?
I hope I wasn't more impressive than he thought, because that would be very hurtful.
but like Title was like crapping on you, right? I mean, I heard him talking some trash. So also, what do you think? Obviously, you're going to say you can beat JSU, but I mean, are we going to see that matchup?
Yeah. So for Big T, no, he definitely wasn't as impressive as I thought. And he would admit that too. But the thing is, making this bet too, I knew Big T wasn't in shape. I knew he didn't pick up a ball in a year. I knew once we get on the court, to 21's a lot of points if you're running around and stuff. And when you're tired, it's hard to play. So Big T, if he gets in shape for a year and he gets me down to the block, I mean, he's going to score on me every time. He has game. So he wasn't as impressive as I thought. I expect next time, of course, I'll run a rematch back. He's going to be better. As far as JSU, yeah, I'll take myself over a lot of people. JSU, I heard he was smaller than you. When Tony says Big T says shooting over a chair, I mean, this really seems like I'd be shooting over a chair with a step back. And that's not even coming. I mean, yeah, I trust my game. I think I could get by him. I think I could step back. And I need to come in better shape too, because I was feeling it a little later in that game. But I also see Hoop in chat. He's saying Hoop can beat Title. And man, I would love to throw that. Hoop only threw on his shoes one time for about maybe 5 points, 2 minutes or something. Then he called quits, didn't get back on the court. I would definitely love to run that one as well. So, hey, anyone that wants it, it's going to be fun. I love playing.
Yeah, we got Joey Work in the chat saying, invite the bet side next time. He wants some of the smoke.
This is what's so funny about this, though. Like, this is where I'll go back to trash talk, Big T, because I was literally on a bender. Title, I give Title credit. This is for sure. I give him credit. I'm not making the excuse with that. I think it would be a better game for sure, but he's got game at least. These other dudes coming in here like Joey Work, I wouldn't even need to be. I could be on a bender and beat dudes like Joey Work. He's got no game. He's how I think I thought Title was going to be more like that. Young kid, soft, not much game. I didn't think I had to be in shape. I came in not prepared. I took him lightly. It is what it is. But I guarantee you, I mean, Joey Work, are you freaking kidding me? There's no way Joey Work's beating me.
Yeah, no.
Let alone Title. Like, come on, Joey Work, you got to play. You got to play like AP or something.
Yeah, no, we'll get him in the minors. Big T, we're going to have to both get on the green shakes and get on the Peloton, and then we'll be ready for the next game, whenever that
problem is. I don't know if I really want to get in shape is the issue. I'd rather just play Joey Work. It's too much work getting in shape.
You'd rather play Joey Work, keep shipping all the giblets.
Trent Gabbard just chimed in and said Hoop has no shot against Title. And I mean, I hate to take Title's side against Hoop, but Hoop isn't beating Title.
Yeah,
that's my boy Trent. Love Trent.
I would be on Trent's side, and we like Trent. He's got the RPS logo. I think I'd be on Trent's side too. I mean, I thought that Hoop could have it, but why didn't Hoop play this weekend then? Right? Like why wasn't he there playing? I don't know.
Hoop's got to step up. I mean, he's got to step up to the plate and get some one-on-one action.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Hager beat Big T. Like, I'm not even going to acknowledge stuff like that.
Oh
like,
man,
can't even acknowledge. I mean, I lost. Title's got game though.
Yep, Title was impressive, but enough of stroking Title. We
got a milli to make. We got another milli.
Yeah, you're right. We got a milli to make. You're trying to win. I'm trying to win. I know JCU's in there. I'm sure Hoop is. We got a ton of people, and we got some members in there. Some members yesterday got some tickets to the milli, so we gotta win $1 million today. Before we do that, though, I do want to talk about our partnership that we have with Super Draft. We're excited to announce this news partnership. You can find the link in our Discord chat. We have a link that's posted in the announcement section. Use the code RUNPURE to get $100 as a match bonus. You can find our link in the core play section as well. We'll be posting core plays on the site. So definitely go get signed up over there. I believe AP already has the core plays up. Can you confirm that title you were looking earlier? Are the core plays already up?
Yep, him and Bobby already have core plays up for tonight on Super Draft.
Yep. So we got Bobby's cash core. We got we got AP. We got AP's.
I said that man go to have a high school picture day today.
No, I decided to slick the hair up a little bit, and no hat today, so give a different look for the day for the people. So maybe it's my high school haircut play of the day. I don't know. We'll have to see. But
we had a legendary party, by the way. I'm still hurting today. Like I'm still not back at full strength.
That was as fun as it gets. I mean, the whole Lean House family. The best is I see Hoop in chat calling them the cornhole champs and stuff. Big T, didn't you and I beat them twice and ran the cornhole pits on, I think it was Friday, and then made him quit. So I wouldn't be calling Hoop a cornhole champ yet. He needs to prove himself.
Big T, before we get back to the super draft stuff, do the cornhole rankings, right? Like give me your top 5 that were there that weekend.
Of who? Like of the RPS people?
Yeah, I'd say mainly the RPS guys, unless you want to mix in your dad or something. I don't know.
I mean, like my family would definitely be at the top of the thing. But as far as people know, I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about basketball. Yeah. I'd have to think about it. I gotta write it down and actually think about it.
I'll say G Risen's pretty good when he's sober.
G Risen tanked though. He died on us. He was elite on what was it? I can't remember the first day. Elite. The second day he didn't. He said like 9 million words the first night. Smelled like a freaking tree. And then the second night he didn't say anything the whole night. He just was silent the whole day.
Yeah, he had way too much of that bag of stuff that he had. There was a lot going on in there, and that thing stunk. So, but before we get back to Super Draft, guys, please hit the like and hit the subscribe on the video. It helps us out a ton. I haven't hit it. I just hit it. Now I'm number 160. Let's bump those up. And at the end of the show, if you impress us, we'll give away some swag. We'll give away the plays, and who knows, maybe we'll give away some tickets. You'd have to really impress us though today, I think, to be able to do that. But guys, hit that like and subscribe on the video.
You never know if someone really blows it away. I've been known to throw a 20. Is it even still open, this Millie?
I don't know. It's let's see. It was filling earlier in the day. Is it still open? Maybe they can impress us. I don't know if they'll be able to, but
there's still some tickets left. I mean, I don't even know what you could do. You would have to like totally catch me off guard and surprise me with something. But
they've done it before. There was that one show, Tony. That one show I remember watching. That they definitely blew us away with that one. So
I didn't intend on giving anything away that one either. It was just like there was just an outrageous amount of likes and everyone was bringing good mojo, and I just went with it. I doubt it happens with the $2,500 ticket, but you never know.
Yeah, so hit the like, hit the subscribe, get the good mojo going in the chat, and we'll see if we give something away. I want to finish talking about Super Draft a little bit. Again, we have the core plays there. Super Draft is similar to FanDuel and DraftKings, right? It just has it does not have the salary cap. It has multipliers for the players. So, like for instance, if you wanted to play James Harden tonight, every single point he gets is just normal, right? It's times 1.0. If you play Rudy Gobert, it's times 1.25, right? So if you play Rudy Gobert, you're getting that extra bump on playing him for the production that he does. That means basically you can run a team of Giannis, Randall, Harden, Damian Lillard, all on the same team. You could play all those guys, but you'll have less multipliers, right? So if you do hit on a low-end guy, if Big T gives out his workbench play of the day and it was Nicholas Claxton and he goes for 30 fantasy points, you know what? You're getting probably a really good multiplier on him and you'll absolutely crush. You can obviously mix in Big T's workbench play of the day in there. You can mix in some of the other players' cores. Again, the thing that's nice about this site, the salary cap does not matter. It's all about the multipliers, and we will have core plays up for you as well. So head on over to Super Draft and sign up. It's not legal in every single state. You just got to check if you're able to play in your state. You'll get a $100 match bonus by using the code RUNPURE. Tony, I think that's most of the stuff there. How about you give us a little slate overview before we kind of dive in? Because you're the guy everyone wants to hear, right? We want to get your tournament takes. So we want to take down a Millie.
Yeah, huge slate. Slates like this, I mean, you just got to pick an angle, go with it. We were talking a little beforehand. Slates like this, I think the worst thing you can do in tournaments is just run the optimal and put it in there. You got to do something to get different. As we go through it, maybe it'll become clear what we can kind of do. I know last night a lot of people ended up doing really well with that core we put out because we went heavy on that first game with Jokic. He clocks up a 70 spot right out of the gate with Fournier going off, a couple other guys doing well early. And again, I hate being Big T 777, but if you get a 10% on Jokic, go for a 70 piece right out of the gate, it doesn't really matter what Harden does because you already got your 70 piece on the board and you're different. Didn't quite get there because Canner went off for 55 and kind of negated it a little bit. But again, last night, 100K member, 60K member, Run Pure just, I think even us, when we started the company and all the people that have come in since then, way above our expectations. I mean, we are just totally crushing with members and the team. So hopefully tonight we can keep it going and ship another milli because this slate, lots of studs, lots of ways to go, and I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, while we're on it, I'll just mention it since you talked about some of the members who won. We got Koff 20. He turned $32 into about 3.188K, right? About
those are my favorite ones too, by the way. Yeah, the 100K ones are awesome. Somebody, whatever the dude even won 100K. I love those ones, but the 30 into 3K, that's just a normal person that probably works. I mean, definitely works somewhere that just gets on there, puts the core in place. And that's changes. That's awesome. I mean, 3K off $30, like that's huge for a normal person. I love those ones.
Yeah, and that's like my buddy Joe, who he does some work for us too. Like he just kind of plugged in the cores once, and he had a sweat, and I was talking to him all night, and like he turned 40 one time in the 4,000, right? Like, and it's just like
that's just awesome.
Yeah, to like see, I got to like see like kind of the excitement. You know, it's like it's crazy to watch and see because he doesn't really play a ton of DFS.
When you don't you're not gambling, you're just doing it for fun. You're doing it for a sweat. Like you can't do that betting games. If you bet games, you put 100, you win 100. You put 200, you win 200. You can't get 4,000 back off your $40 and the sweat equity, which is fun. Like you get up in there and you're like, oh man, maybe I could win whatever it is, 100K, 20K, 15K, whatever it is. Awesome stuff. Yeah,
you're like Title on your knees, just like cheering on the fights, just like he was at your house on Saturday night. That was so good.
We had a good time.
Yeah, that was fun watching all those fights together. I also want to mention the 100K winner, right? You talked about it. AP, he ended up putting up 8,500 and got fourth place. But first place to Tevia 23 got a little 100K. So I want to just say, hey, members do win over here at Run Beer Sports. Use that code HEATER25. Get you 25% off your first payment. We're running that all the way up until baseball. Get in that Discord chat, get all the winners and dive into the Run Pure Sports community.
We also had the second place winner in that tournament too. He didn't have the RPS logo up there, but he was in Discord all night. I think we had maybe 5th and 6th. I mean,
Big T was in 9th. They punished me in 9th.
Yeah, they all use Big T's core. AP had Canner in there too. Mix them together, and then hey, you even take a little more money from Big T with his own core. So it was a great night again.
I do like it when I see all the logos. That second place dude needs to get that damn logo up there, though. He told me he was going to get the logo up.
Yeah, all you got to do is you go into our Discord chat and it says RPS logo. There's literally a channel for it. So grab that logo, join the movement, and let's get towards the top. We want to be celebrating with everyone. We want to know when our members win. We want to know when we're able to sweat it out with you guys. But again, that kind of wraps everything up for us here talking about that. Let's talk about the NBA games. Tony kind of gave his slate overview. Again, I think it's going to be an interesting slate. It feels a lot like yesterday's slate as well. A lot of early games that you could lock yourself into with a lot of news that could be coming later on. We'll talk about the Pistons and the Pacers to kick it off. And this is a game that I'm not really doing too much with. It locks at 7 o'clock by itself. TitleTown, I'll go to you first. Is this a game you want to get exposure to here?
Well, we have really big news with Brogdon and Turner being questionable for this game. We'll get the news, obviously, but if those two are out, it's hard not to have some interest in some of the value pieces and up top, like Sabonis at 9.4K. He was just in the same spot against the Bucks a couple nights ago when those two were ruled out. Had a good game. It was a blowout, though. We get TJ McConnell. They slid Karis LeVert into the 1 in the point guard role last time. His usage went up a lot. I'd have interest in him. Jeremy Lamb, I know, had a really big game for cheap. Big T and I were talking where no one played Jeremy Lamb. Everyone thought of TJ McConnell, the LeVert, Sabonis, and he just quietly had himself a big game for a cheap price too. So this news is definitely worth monitoring. If Turner and Brogdon do play, I don't have too much interest in this game. If I picked anyone, it would be Miles Turner himself at 5,600 on DraftKings, 5,600 on or 5,700 on FanDuel. He always has big upside when he does get minutes, plays 30. If he gets 30 minutes, we've seen 45, 50 point upside. So it needs to be 1-2% owned because no one wants to lock themselves in the early game. So it would only be him if they're both in. If they're out, TJ, LeVert, Sabonis, I'd have interest in them. Otherwise, it's the first game. It locks by itself. It's going to be very, very under-owned. I'd leave it to 1 or 2 pieces max. No Detroit side for me.
All right, Tony, what about you here? If you look, the Pacers and the Pistons, is BigT 777 coming out tonight for this game? I don't think this is the game you're going to do it with. I think you're going to be on some other earlier games, but maybe I'm wrong. How are you handling Pistons and Pacers?
Yeah, no, it's an easy fade for me. Unless these guys are out for Indy, like Title said. If they're out, I definitely think you can go to these guys. I mean, LeVert, McConnell, Dougie McBuckets, Jeremy Lamb, all of those guys come into play. I don't know. We just got to wait on the news. I mean, huge slate. I definitely could play these guys, though, especially, I mean, Jeremy Lamb the other day, 41 fantasy points. He's always been a scorer. They needed scoring a little bit more with those guys out. Definitely, I'll have my eye on him if these guys are out. But LeVert, too. LeVert's going to be asked to score a bunch. We just got to wait on the news. If those guys are in, I'm going to definitely not play this spot. If they're out, though, who knows? Maybe pop a few of these guys in there.
Yep. And we also have trade rumors that are swirling, right? So that's going to be something to watch for tonight for sure.
That's going to be something definitely to watch. And last night, I talked about it a little, but tonight, even more so. I mean, if you got guys on the trading block, you got to be gentle with them because it'd be a bad feeling, especially if you're in some of those higher stakes tournaments where it's happened in the past. I mean, tons of years where you play these guys, even chalky guys, and right after lock or right after the game locks, we hear this guy got traded, blah, 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 and you take that donut. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And that's actually like JaVale McGee, right? So if you have any
definitely don't play guys like that tonight. So
yeah, like no need to take risk, right? Like on JaVale McGee. And even like the guys like the Aaron Gordons of the world, right? Like I just don't think I need to risk it today. You never know what can happen.
Aaron Gordon has to get moved.
Yeah, they're talking about the Celtics are one of the big contenders, but he basically said he wants out, right? So teams are looking to grab him. There's talks like Kyle Lowry, obviously. So just be on the lookout for that. It's going to be pretty big. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw surprise, like maybe not surprise later scratches, but like wouldn't be shocked if like 15 minutes before the game, they're like, yeah, Kyle Lowry's not going to play because maybe they're close to a deal, right? And they don't want him to get hurt during the game because that would just change everything. So be on the lookout for that. Let's go to the next game, which has big injury news. And of course, TitleTown's on the show, which means the Milwaukee Bucks are playing today. We got my Boston Celtics against Title's Milwaukee Bucks. And is Giannis going to play? Is he not going to play? That is the question here, Titletown. I think Giannis comes back and plays in this game. I believe this is also an ESPN game. Maybe I'm wrong, but yes, you're right. It's going to be ESPN game. So Giannis, he's a great play. Might be under-owned as well because no one has been looking at him all day long. But if he randomly does get ruled out, I mean, these Bucks guys are going to be absolute chalk. So how are you handling this situation with Giannis?
Yeah, so we get this game at 7:30, 30 minutes after lock with the one game only. The other game's going to be low and probably most people won't have pieces in their lineup. So I'm kind of treating it as lock starts now. So we will get the Giannis news. I'm with you. I do think he plays in this game. It is on ESPN. I think he practiced yesterday too. So I'm going to talk about it like I'm expecting him to play. And I love Giannis in this spot at 10.8K against the Celtics. He's not going to be, I think he's going to be under-owned, like you said. Luka's going to be very popular. People are going to save money for Harden later in the night because he's grading out really well. Giannis makes for a perfect pivot because we will know he's in for sure if we do play him. They have a 118 team total. Giannis has just been so dominant for DFS lately. He commands so much usage, so much upside. I love plugging in Giannis early at 7:30. A lower owned Giannis, maybe not like 10% or something, but maybe in 20%, 18, something around there. And sign me up for that every time. So in the spot, if he does play, if he's out, like you said, it's going to be Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brooke Lopez, Dante DiVincenzo. All the same guys are going to be popular. Another reason on today's, especially, you have to watch Holden and JSU show up to lock. We'll be in Discord too, because there's so much late news breaking. Outside of Giannis, Marcus Smart on FanDuel is only 5,000. His minutes are back up. He doesn't have a minutes limit. He excels in these games, in a high-paced games where he can get the steals. He just seems to perform well against the Bucks. So Smart on FanDuel, Giannis on both sites and tournaments. But other than that, not looking at anyone else.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at those guys. And on the Celtics side, Jason Tatum the other day, so he sat out, right? And I think he's really still suffering from the COVID stuff. Like, he's actually talked about it in a bunch of interviews, and it sounds like kind of lame, but like, I think it's the truth. And that's why I think he was dizzy the other night too and didn't end up playing. That's why he was kind of a late scratch. So I don't know. Wasn't there an MMA fighter title that like basically stopped fighting because of COVID? Isn't that correct? Or am I wrong?
Well, yeah, it was Chimaev. He wasn't gonna, but now he's made a return. It looks like he's coming back. But yeah, it has serious impacts on certain people, as we've seen.
Yeah, and I think like some people it just has no impact and some it doesn't. I think it is having an impact on Tatum. So I'm just kind of staying away from him. Again, what if he randomly sat tonight? Would not be shocked. Big T, is this a game that you're going to fire on early? Again, low-owned Giannis. You and I love to make fun of him, but he could be in play today. What are you doing with a lower-owned Giannis today?
Yeah, I probably won't play him. I mean, it's just not a great spot. I mean, obviously we say it every time. Giannis, you can play him anytime. Luka, you can play him anytime. Jokic, all those guys, you can always play him. I'll probably go a different direction tonight, but obviously you can play him if he's in there. If he's out, you can play all the Milwaukee guys. Boston's interesting. I mean, Tatum has really, really struggled, like Mangone said. Just hasn't quite got there. The price is cheap, though. I mean, 8,600. Definitely a good mid-range play. I don't even know if I could pull the trigger, but the price looks good. Jaylen Brown, 8,300. Just game log watching. He's got 5 straight games, high 40s, low 50s for a guy that's 8,300. That's interesting for a low-owned guy. I mean, no one's going to play him. Again, I probably won't play him either. It's an 11-game slate, but the price does look good if you fall on him or if you end up in that range. Overall, though, 11-game slate. 2 pretty solid defensive teams, even though the total's high. They spread it around, lots of guys. I don't know. I'll probably stay away from this game.
All right. Yeah, I'm not in love with this game, but there is some low-owned upside, I think, in this one. And Big T, we got some questions in the chat. Like, you haven't been here in a while. Chris Myers is asking, Big T, what's in the mug? I know it ain't coffee, right? So what do we got in the mug there that you're drinking?
Told you, I'm still recouping. It's just a little Mountain Dew action today.
That's definitely a fan favorite of the knee houses. Uncle T loves himself some Mountain Dew. Big T's got some Mountain Dew. He's just recouping because, again, long weekend. We had a good time. We had a blast over at Big T's house. Let's move on and let's talk about the next game. And
the dude, hold on a second. The dude, I've heard this a few times today. Like, how did you get on New Orleans? This is how I play NBA. I'm not going to go in and do the projections and just tell you that. That's why I think I have the success I have, because I get on different paths. I said it when these guys were here this weekend. We watched it. I said the Lakers are going to get destroyed for the next month. So anytime I can play guys against them for the next month, I'm going to do it. Yesterday was like the total nut spot once Lonzo was out to play Kyra Lewis, to play to play Josh Hart. And I ended up with all 3 of them on my main team, assuming a blowout. Like, obviously Kyra Lewis isn't going to get the full run unless it blows out. But I thought they'd get blown out. And when they get blown out and he gets full run, he's going to get me in the 30s, which he did. And I'm okay taking that risk. And I'm just going to keep doing it. And like, so when you look at the roster construction, if New Orleans blows the Lakers out in that game and I got 3 guards that all can go off, sign me up. That's a dream scenario for me. I mean, I'll take it. And you know what? If it stays close and these guys only get 4X or whatever, so be it. Take the chance and let it ride on a blowout a little bit.
Yeah, the 3 of us talked about it. And then even JSU, when I was on the bet show with him the other day, that we do over at Run Pure Bets, we do it at about 1 o'clock every single day. We talk DFS, we talk bets. JSU liked them. And I was like, yeah, like we literally talked about it this weekend, how they're just going to be absolutely horrific.
I mean, they're going to be getting beat like how Houston's getting beat. They're just going to get drilled like every night.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to end well. It's going to be rough for those guys. But let's talk Nuggets. Let's talk Raptors here in this spot. TitleTown, I'll go to you first. Obviously, we have some trade rumors swirling here with Norman Powell playing great and Lowry possibly getting traded soon. How are you handling the Raptors and Jokic for the Nuggets?
Yeah, so for the Raptors, I'm just going to completely fade them unless we do get news before lock that Lowry or Norman Powell or both of them do get traded. It is a 7:30 game again, treating lock kind of like that since the first game I'm not going to have many pieces of. So if we hear they're not playing or if we hear they get traded, it'll open up for like a Siakam, OG Anunoby, they'll get a little Fred VanVleet, they'll get boosts, but if we don't hear anything, it's an easy fade for me. On the Denver side, if you need a cheap punt to make everything work, PJ Dozier at 3,400. Monte Morris is out, so he's the main beneficiary off the bench with minutes. He got 27 minutes last game, and for 3,400, I'll take that on a slate to get other studs like Giannis. And then Jokic is in this game too, which I don't like Harden. We'll get there later. Harden's going to be very popular today in cash and tournaments, everything. I don't like him in tournaments as much as most people against Utah today. And he is questionable. So I think there's a lot of merit to going to either Giannis or Jokic, or even both of them in tournaments. I prefer Giannis over Jokic today, but I still like Jokic in the spot, who is going to come in under-owned again.
Oh, man, Big T, you're loving those words, right? Jokic coming in under-owned. It seems like a spot where you're going to be all over Jokic. Seems like a spot I should be considering Jokic more. I put him on the cash chart. He's definitely one of the studs I am considering on this slate, but there are some good cheaper centers that I am looking at as well, which again, I think that's why he is going to go under owned. So how are you approaching Jokic against this terrible Raptors defense?
I mean, the dude is just a stud. He's right there with these other guys. He's been the best player this year. He might not be the best player when the playoffs come. Maybe he takes some guys over him. I don't know. But as far as regular season, he's been the MVP, and that's why he's probably going to win the award now with these other guys going down injured. He's always in play. He's definitely in play tonight, coming off the 71 piece. I'm definitely a little worried about Denver. Denver's definitely going to make a trade, I think. They want Aaron Gordon. They want Lonzo Ball. I think Barton's going to get moved if I had to guess, so don't play Barton. If it was me, I would definitely not play him. But what Title said, PJ Dozier, they like PJ Dozier. If somehow Barton did get moved too, that's even more minutes for 3,400 PJ Dozier, who played 27 last night. I love that price. And again, back to that point, really, I mean, if he doesn't catch the full run, so what? He gets you 15 fantasy points or something. Yeah, you don't want that, but it's not going to kill you. And if he somehow gets lucky and catches extended run, he could crush versus Toronto. So I like the PJ Dozier call a ton for DFS. Toronto, I'm going to stay away from. They've been my team, but man, they could move some pieces. Like, they're in shambles. I don't think they'll trade guys like VanVleet or Pascal. I'm not the smartest with the salary cap and who needs to be traded, this and that. All I know is I think they're going to move pieces, and I don't need to pick on this spot. If I was going to play anyone, it would be like Pascal, but on an 11-game slate, I don't want to mess with a team that is going to be open to trading tonight. So I'm definitely going to fade Toronto in this spot, unless we get news before. I mean, who knows? Maybe they say we're trading Lowry and whoever, and all of a sudden VanVleet becomes a very, very good play if the news hit before the game. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Jokic and PJ Dozier.
Yeah, I love the Dozier call. He's someone I actually looked at before the slate, and I just added him to the cash chart because I was like, he's someone I was considering. And like, sometimes you play guys in like that 5 and 6K range, Tony, and like when they bust, like that hurts you, right? Like even at 3-4, like the bust doesn't hurt you.
Wiggins last night. You play Wiggins, you're not winning.
Yeah, Wiggins would definitely hurt you at that price and for what he did. And like, for instance, like a good example is what was his name? Kakak or whatever. I don't know how to say his name.
He got 10.
Yeah, he got 10, right? Yeah, it didn't kill you because again, some other players.
He was on my team that got 9th place. It's a perfect example. I had him on there, and it is what it is. Like, literally, PJ Dozier, it really doesn't matter unless he gets you just a stone donut, which it still might not totally kill you. If he gets you 8 or 10 or 14, none of that's killing you. But when he gets you 30, you are mint city. Yeah.
No, for sure. Definitely agree on that. Like, he's a guy that I'm going to look at for sure. Titletown, anything else to kind of discuss in this game that you want to break down here?
No, yeah, PJ Dozier, Jokic, even though I do like Giannis more, I'll take Giannis and Jokic over Harden today in tournaments with the ownership. And he might not even play. He's questionable. So that's my stand today in cash games. Harden's going to be one of the most popular plays. So, I mean, I don't leverage off and play low and plays in cash games. That's why I play cash games, but tournaments, I think it's very easily Giannis or Jokic as a nice low owned pivot. Then Toronto, if they trade someone, then I'll look at VanVleet and stuff. If not, easy fade.
All right. Let's go on and talk about the next game. Before we do that, guys.
The dude wants to know what my Kenny Powers sign says.
What's the Kenny Power sign say?
It's the best thing I got in here. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
If at first you don't succeed, then maybe you just suck. That's a good quote.
Life lesson.
That is a good one. There's a lot of good things in your office, Tony. I looked around when I was in there. I saw the you got the high school stuff. You got on the I think it's on your right or left. I can't remember which one it's on, but I saw that.
I gotta remember the good times now that the good times are over and titles embarrassing me. I gotta remember the good old days.
Yeah, you got to remember those. So we got those hung up there. You got the team money team hat. I love that hat in there. So you have a nice little setup in the office there. So everyone loves the Kenny Powers stuff. But I wanted to mention, Tony, we got to get the likes up, right? Like people are hurting our feelings, right? You just showed off the Kenny Powers. We don't like our feelings hurt. 850 people watching and we got 333 likes. That seems a little hurtful.
Yeah, I mean, that's not how to get the $2,500 ticket. That's not how you impress us.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be a tall task to get it, but you're not impressing us right now, and you're not even impressing us to give away some gear. So, guys, please hit the likes, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton, and if you do that, maybe if we're impressed, we'll see what we can do for you guys on this show. Let's head on over to the next game. We got 8 o'clock game. We got Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls, which definitely not the sexiest game in the world. Cleveland plays at a slow pace. The Bulls play at a fast pace and don't play much defense. TitleTown, what are you doing with this game?
Yeah, this is a pretty easy fade for me, especially on DraftKings. The price is it's 11-game slate. There's no need to play any of these guys. On FanDuel, Darius Garland's 5.5, which is an okay price. Jarrett Allen's 6.7, but he's at a center spot, and I like a couple other centers more. So if you need a one-off, Patrick Williams 4,000 on FanDuel. I would just stick to a one-off if you need it, but it's not a game I like on this 11-game slate.
Yeah, definitely not a game we like on this slate. Marcus Dever said, I liked on 3 accounts, throwing my back out here, fellas, to get these likes up. Tony, that's the stuff we love to see. This guy's out here putting in the work.
Yep, it's all you can ask for. Going the extra length.
Yep. So let's talk about this game, Tony. Not a game I think you're really going to be too interested in. The Bulls don't play a lot of defense, though, right? And it is a pace up for the Cavs, so you can make an argument for it. What do you want to do with this game between the Cavs and the Bulls?
Yeah, it's ugly. I mean, you look at it, 11-game slate, tough to go there. Sexton and Garland are priced kind of up, Nance up. Not going to play some of the cheaper guys on this slate. Jarrett Allen checks the boxes. I mean, Chicago is one of those teams we want to pick on against bigs. Athletic bigs against Chicago have crushed all year. But 7,600, again, I always bring this example up. I'm not a full game log watcher, but if I pull a dude up that's 7,600 and I don't see any games in the 40s for the last 10 games, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click the X button. No matter how good the matchup is, maybe he crushes. That's not full game log watching, but I need to see some upside. I can't see 16, 36, 23, 27, 24 for 7,600. Just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, the matchup's good. If you want to take a chance on FanDuel at 6,700, you can do it, but you only get one center spot. I'm just going to fade this game on an 11-game slate.
Yeah, and I was happy you mentioned that. I kind of just pulled up the FanDuel stuff. Yeah, that 6,700 tag, it is intriguing, right? It's something to consider. But, I don't know if I need to do it. I don't think I need to fire away with Jarrett Allen. I will look deeper into it. And if I fall on that at center, I wouldn't hate it. But it depends. I don't know if I'm paying for Jokic today over on FanDuel either. But we'll have to see. Let's go on over to the next game. We got the Memphis Grizzlies. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder, 218 total. And this is a game that I think is really interesting. We obviously have news that hit. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got ruled out. We have a starting lineup of Theo Maledon, Lou Dort, Poku, Roby, and it looks like it'll be Al Horford. That's at least my assumption on what the starters are going to be. And Tony, I was talking in the chat. We had K Fallick in there throwing his charts around in the chat. We had AP. Yeah, Charvan. We had AP in there. He was talking about the late games, how they're great. I was talking about, I thought Lou Dort was a really good play today because I think he's commanding more usage and running more of the offense there for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think people realize that. And then JSU and I kind of got in a debate, and then we started talking about it more. What do you think of some of these Thunder plays? Because I think people are going to go to some of these Thunder guys. They're going to go to Maledon. They're going to consider Poku and Al Horford because of the usage. And I think Lou Dort's a guy that I really like and might go a little overlooked here.
Yeah, I'm definitely not playing Lou Dort. I mean, he had big usage versus Houston, but that's like Title getting big usage versus Mangone. Like that's just. Whew.
It is Memphis though. I'm not scared of him. He had 22 field goal attempts. Like I
The
get
problem
it.
is he's not cheap though. He's not.
He's
Oh,
5K. It's not the most.
like, no, you can't play Dort. Don't play Dort.
We'll see, Tony. I'm definitely considering him as a really good
don't
play
play
today.
Dort.
We'll see.
That's the dry hump play of the day for sure.
Don't play Dort. This
It
reminds
might
me of
be.
the Millsap days. Don't play
No,
Dort.
he's not.
Chris
He's not.
Hogan, Millsap,
No,
Lou
it's
Dort.
okay. I'm just saying.
I'm kidding. He's better than Millsap and Hogan. I
Oh,
will say that.
he definitely is better than that. But
I'm not dollar per dollar. I'm not 100% sure he is.
we'll have to
He
see.
is super dusty at 5K.
We'll have to see. I'm excited to see where he shakes out. I don't even know if I'll fall in that range. That's the other thing. So this is like a stars and scrubs slate, and like also to talk about it, because Tony, I've noticed you and I play a little different, right? I definitely backload more. You've been front loading more, and you're doing it more of a strategy perspective, right? My worry was playing some of these 8 o'clock guys. I don't know if I want to lock myself into too much, and I locked myself into one more guy that I wanted to yesterday, and that might keep me off it. Also, with the mid-range being as weak as it can be sometimes, like we kind of just talked about, right? Like a guy that's like 5.5K or 5.3K, if they have a game where they get like 20 fantasy points or even 18, like that's going to really, really hurt you. And that is one of my fears with that 5K price tag, where I'd rather maybe go down to a cheaper guy and just jam in studs, because I like that stars and scrubs approach a lot. And that's where I probably had the more success this year. But
I think it's the biggest hole I've plugged, honestly. Like people ask why I think I've had more success in the last, in 2021 in general. I think I've plugged that hole. Like if I'm playing a 5K guy in the past, I was happy to get 25. If I play a 5K guy now, I want the possibility of 40. Like I want 40 from that guy. I at least want the possibility. Yeah, if he gets 25, you're still fine. So people need to understand what I'm saying. I want the opportunity for 40. If not, if I play a 6K guy, I want them in the 40s. It's kind of, I want in that range, because if not, I can play a stud and a 3K guy like we already talked about, and it gets you the same number. So I'm chasing upside way more than I have in the past. I think it's a big leak that JSU helped me plug, honestly. He always used to make fun of me for playing these Lou Dort type plays, and I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, and a great example of it. Like the other day, I remember I looked at some swaps because I was behind, and I could have went like Anthony Edwards and like Jackson Hayes. And like Jackson Hayes was projected like to do really shitty, but I was behind, right? And I was like, that ceiling for Edwards could be amazing. And the 2v2 I went, it was like a leverage play that I went with. I think it was like Saric and Rubio, and I was leveraging Ayton because I was down. But Edwards outscored both the guys combined. Like it's just like sometimes like chasing that ceiling is worth it, and guys can just get you over the finish line. That's something I feel like I've been doing a little bit more this year. So, good tournament like conversation to have, and just like roster construction conversation, because I always think that that's valuable.
It makes those cheap guys nice, though. You already talked about it, but you don't need the same thing from them. And if they get you in the 30s, you're huge. It's a completely different conversation. You covered it great earlier. If you play a 6K guy and he gets you 18, you're screwed. You play a 3K guy and he gets you 12, you're not screwed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know, Title, do you agree with that stuff? And what do you think of this game in general? Like, I do think there's a lot of mid-tier guys in here that we're talking about, right? Because they've gotten priced up, right? We have had these guys out. We have seen Al Horford out. We've seen SGA out. So some of these guys are not 3K anymore, Title, right? So what are you doing with this game with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah, so the play that sticks out on DraftKings, he's actually going to get decent on ownership, is slow-mo Kyle Anderson. And this is where you go right what Big T was talking about. In cash games, sure, his minutes are about 30, a little more. He's 5'1". He might get you 25. But there's no way I'm playing a chalky or a 30%, whatever he is, slow-mo on this slate in tournaments. So that's exactly what we were talking about, I think, in difference between cash, where you take your floor. 5,100, that's a fine price tag for him. Tournaments, though, I mean, you don't play him at higher ownership. He's the one for me that the most interest I have in Memphis, though, in tournaments is a pretty easy fade game for me with so many other games that we like. This Harden news is the last game on the slate, too. That matters so much. If Harden's out, there's going to be 5 Nets players that become very, very good plays. And if he's in, Harden's going to be very popular, and then you have to make decisions elsewhere. So it's a game I'm not going to have too much interest in. Al Horford at 6,100. I'm fine there in the mid tier. He does have upside. He's 6,100 on both sides. He has upside without SGA. He can get 20, 15, something like that. So if anything, I'm going there in tournaments. Other than that, it's a pretty easy stay away.
Yep, I think that makes sense. I don't want to overexpose myself to this game, but I do think there's a couple guys you can pick and choose throughout your lineups there. Tony, you obviously talked about some tournament stuff. Do you have anything else in this game that you want to mention, or is it just full on move on to the next one?
Yeah, I'm moving on. I mean, I know I saw K Fallick in the chat talking about, Ty Jerome. The dude is 4,800 now. I'm not paying 4,800 for Ty Jerome.
Yeah, that seems like a terrible idea. I don't know if I do that there on this.
Someone mentioned, Mango, is Al Horford on the trading block? Someone mentioned that.
I think he's definitely on the trading block.
Probably. Sam Presti, anything for a first round pick, right? So
and he's a veteran. Like they don't
need him
on this team. Like he would fit perfect on the Lakers or one of the contending teams. I think he gets traded like that. If he somehow gets traded, then we got Moses again who's crushed. Roby. A lot more opens up if Horford gets moved.
What would you do with Moses at 5'7"? Would you still play him? Because it isn't here.
You want to talk about upside? The dude has smashed for us a few times.
And he already played this matchup. He already played this matchup, and he played 24 minutes against Memphis. It was his first game, and he got 23 fantasy points in that time. And obviously, if Horford would be out, he would get a ton of minutes.
5,700 is tough. Oh, so we got Sexton.
Yep. Garland and Allen, because they had really good prices on FanDuel too. Garland at 5.5, he's definitely going to get more ownership. Allen.
Yeah, they're playing the Bulls, right? So obviously
it's going to be a crazy night, boys. 11 games. There's going to be a lot of news. It is going to be a crazy one tonight.
Don't miss JSU and Holden's show today. This is the day you need it most. It's probably the craziest day in the NBA we'll see with the trade deadline, with already Giannis, Harden, all these questionable stuff. You're going to have to be on your phone computer all night.
Yeah, definitely going to be a night like that. Use the code HEATER25.
Imagine playing the NBA, though, without a site like Run Pure. Like tonight, there's just no way. If you're not in that Discord, good luck.
Impossible.
Yeah. And I know JT talked about this. Listen, guys. So, if you're in the Discord chat, tilting, I understand. It's fine to do. There's a time and place for it. 7:29, while we're trying to answer questions for subscribers, not the time to tilt that your dude has 2 fantasy points in the first 6 minutes. That's one thing. If you remember, please try to reduce the tilt, save it for 10:30, save it for the time when it's necessary, right? We're trying to help each other out. We're trying to post all the news whenever a trade happens because time is valuable, right? Those matter of seconds. Sometimes you get stuff at 7:29, right? If you remember the Paul George night, ever remember the Paul George night when he got ruled out and we had 40 seconds to change stuff? Some people got it in, some didn't. And it's because if you're in the Discord chat, plugging away at stuff, we got that news to you. And if someone's in there tilting and just kind of getting people derailed, it could cause issues. So keep the tilt to a minimum until we get the games kind of locked, or maybe at a time when the games are not about to lock, right? Maybe at 8:05, right? Or 9:05. But again, we don't like tilt in the Discord chat, right, Big T?
No. No.
All right. Well, that
I'm trying. I was in the process of looking at these Cleveland guards because they don't have any guards now versus the Bulls. So
yeah, we should talk about it a little bit, right? I guess instead of going to the next game, let's kind of look and discuss at it.
Who's even their guards? I'm looking at it they don't have guards.
Jetty Osman's gonna have to play some too next to Garland, Okoro or Okoro, whatever his name is. Travis played him this week and he did okay, but I don't want to go there.
For Travis the one night, didn't he?
He did. I didn't even want to play him and it happened, but he did. And then next game he comes back over the top against Sacramento for a nice 12.5. So
Windler, it's gonna be.
A guy who K Fallick, our boy K Fallick, literally strokes to every night.
Windler.
Yep. He loves Windler, and the dude has never done anything for him. And he still just loves him every night.
What about Dotson? We have played him this season, right? In these kind of roles. I don't know. I'm trying to think through because he's 3K, right? If I'm going to play some of these guys, I want to play the cheaper ones. And he's a guard that could really go in there and chuck it up a bit. Larry Nance, sure. I like Larry Nance, but he's 6.2K. It is still pricey. And he could obviously have a big game, but I don't know. I'm trying to find the cheaper guys and really dig into that because kind of the stuff that we talked about, Tony.
Yeah, we're going to have to this is another spot, too, where I want to see the starters. So you're for sure going to start, Nance, Allen. We already talked about JaVale being on the trading block, so he could be you could have a really light Cleveland team tonight where, these guys could play big minutes against Chicago. All of a sudden, they could turn into the nut spot of the night pretty easily.
I will say Dotson hasn't played since March 12th. It seems like he's kind of at the end of the bench, so I'd keep an eye on it, but starters, I mean, yeah, because he played in the beginning of the year when there was injuries, but yeah, I don't know. We'll be in Discord breaking down. Right now, I think Garland definitely gets a big boost. Expect Jetty Osman to play a lot of minutes. Then Jared Allen gets a boost too. He's gonna shoot more, rebound more, play bigger minutes. So
yeah, it might be Quinn Cook because he played 18 against Sacramento, and
Quinn Cook's on the Cavs.
He got a 10-day contract, right? He's on one of those.
I actually would like him if he somehow like started or something.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot, Tony. Like these 10-day contract guys, like there's a reason why they get them, and like they only have a certain amount where they can play, right? And he might even be on the second 10-day contract, I think. Which means I don't know if the rule is if it's 2 or 3. I can't remember how many you can have basically until they basically get rid of you, right? They have a certain amount of time where they have to add you onto the active roster, or you can go try and do a 10-day contract somewhere else. So that's something we'll have to look for sure. And we'll be talking about all that in the Discord chat. It's an 8:00 lock. We got some news. It's not big news, right? But it's Nick Nurse basically has said that he thinks they think Kyle and Norm are going to play, but they're going to talk to Nurse a little shortly. So at the 5:30 report, they said they think that those two guys will play, but they want to talk to Nurse here coming up. So that's kind of the news there on that one. And Garrett Temple's available. Nothing big yet, but again, it's going to be a wild night in the injury front for sure here. Let's talk about this game. I think this is an easy move on game, but I'll ask you guys. Suns and Magic. Big T, fade that game and move on to the next one.
I haven't played the Suns all season unless they got guys out. Let me look at the Magic. I mean, the Suns are just one of those teams. They're a good team. They spread it around. I can't play Booker or Chris Paul when they're in there together. You look at the Orlando side, they got all the trade dudes. So unless we get news, so this is another spot where if you're waiting on news like Mangone is, and somehow the news breaks that Gordon and Fournier get traded or whoever gets traded, you are going to have, if you wait on news all night, you're going to have some spots where you can play these 3,200 guys, 3,700 guys that get huge boosts tonight. And that's why it's going to be a stars and scrubs slate, in my opinion. This game's an easy fade, though, until some news hits. Don't play these Orlando guys. I mean, there's literally no reason to play them. Phoenix is a good team. It's one of the easiest fades I could possibly imagine, unless these guys get traded and all of a sudden you can play whoever, Kim Birch at 3,200 in a spot where he's going to play huge minutes or something. Until then, though, just hit the X buttons.
Yeah, I will say probably the backload approach too. Like if tons of news hits, like you're just going to be unique from just like, kind of going through that process like by yourself. Like I think naturally you'll just kind of have some uniqueness there throughout your lineups as you're plugging guys in throughout the night. Title, Suns and Magic. Seems like a full fade, but maybe I'm wrong here.
There's one guy on each side I have a little interest in. DeAndre Ayton is 5.8K on DraftKings. He's played over 30 minutes the past 2 games and has over 40 fantasy points the past 2 games. I know he's been bad all year, but the last 2 games, that's very encouraging. 5.8K. If he gets to be 45 at 5.8K, I'm loving that. The guy has talent, which we've seen in the past. He's just been so bad, but he's definitely a consideration for me in all formats at 5.8K. Then FanDuel 3.9K, Jay Crowder at power forward. Just had another very good game yesterday. 3.9K is too cheap for his role on the team, so I'm fine going down there to get stars and scrubs.
Yeah, one last thing I'll mention, Lauri Markkanen apparently is getting talked up in some trades. So like you could see just stuff like you're not even expecting. Like I didn't know if Lauri could be traded, but again, this is going to be a wild night. So be ready for it. Get in that Discord chat. Use the code HEATER25 to get 25% off your first payment here at Run Pure Sports. Let's go on and talk about the Charlotte Hornets and the Houston Rockets, because I think this is a great game, right? I think that we have opportunity here with John Wall, with Christian Wood. They've been talking about how they're looking to get Gordon Hayward to be more of the focal point of the offense with Ball being out, and they're going against Houston, which is terrible defense. The question is, do you want to spend up for that price tag though, right? It's a hefty one on a guy like Gordon Hayward on this kind of slate. Big T, I'll go over to you on this one. How are you handling this Rockets and Hornets game?
Yeah, I mean, it's another spot where I don't know what to do with Houston. I mean, are these guys on the trade block? Like, I don't know. That they get me nervous. Like, what have we heard about these dudes?
I mean, Title, I haven't heard much on them getting traded. I think Oladipo is a trade candidate. I don't think John Wall is. And Christian Wood, unless they're getting like the house for him, I don't think they're trading him at all. He's locked in there, I think, right?
Yeah, we haven't heard much on this. I think this is one of the few teams that we feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I feel
not getting anyone traded. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love this game. I mean, you can look at the Charlotte side, obviously, because Houston is one of the worst defenses. They should be a little bit, even though Wood's a bad defender, he has to make them better than they were because they literally had nothing in the middle. So even if he's a bad defender, he at least gives a little size, little athletic ability in there. So they have to be a little better. But you can look at these guys. I mean, you got Gordon Hayward, Devontae Graham, still priced low for his role. Malik Monk looks like he's too cheap. Rozier looks like he might be a little too cheap. With Ball out, a lot of these guys feel too cheap to me. But 11-game slate, I don't love going to a Charlotte Houston game. I've tried to stay away from these spots. They just turn ugly more times than not. I don't feel like they ever just like go crazy, especially on a trade deadline night. I don't know. I just don't want to play this game.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's a game there you can get some pieces to if you want, but they have some heftier price tags, and that's kind of one of my problems. And I don't know if it's the best allocation of my salary. Title, how about you? What are you doing with this Rockets and Hornets game?
So Houston, the only interest I have is Christian Wood. He played 37 minutes 2 games ago. He had like 46 fantasy points. Then they announced that him and John Wall were going to be on a little minutes limit, that they were sore or something. So he played 28 minutes and had a down game, but I expect those minutes to go back up over 30. I like this matchup. I think he'll come in lower owned too. And we've seen Christian Wood have monster games. He's a very good basketball player, 2020 upside. So only one on Houston I'm interested in. On Charlotte, they still haven't adjusted all these prices with LaMelo out. So I like Malik Monk on both sides, Devontae Graham on both sides, Gordon Hayward on both sides. I like Gordon Hayward more on FanDuel, where he's 7K, small forward eligible. That price is way too cheap. 7-9 on DraftKings. He definitely has upside in tournaments and will be lower owned, but not a cash play for me over there. Terry Rozier, 7.1K on DK, 7K on FanDuel. I would stick to those, and PJ Washington too on FanDuel is only 6,000. I like this spot a lot for Charlotte since LaMelo off the court. He has so much usage in his hands, commanded the ball, rebounds, assists. Now other players need to make plays. So I definitely like at least 2 of those Charlotte guys in a lot of my tournament lineups. And then the run back in Christian Wood makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely makes sense. Malik Monk's one more guy that I probably should have mentioned that I think is interesting as a cheap option. They talk about basically relying on him a little bit more in the offense. So someone I'm going to look at as a cheaper option at 4K. Let's move on and talk about the next game. Before we do that, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe on the video. I'm giving a check now, and we got 910 watching BigT. We're at 477. So what's our thoughts? How do we think the people are doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're responding. They're responding well. Nothing like they're not blowing me away or anything to where we were. The one day we were at 500 by like 530. We're good though. I mean, we're above halfway. We get to 500, we'll give some gear in the plays away. Probably not nothing special because they're not blowing us away, but good solid effort. Just a good solid day. So
and they still got time, Tony, right? They got 22 minutes.
Plenty of time to still crank this thing up.
You guys might get it sounds like Mangone really wants that $2,500 ticket out of his pocket to the people. So
yep, he's on the heater. Maybe he's got to blow Mangone away tonight.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Listen, I'm trying to see if people can respond, right? Want to get them up, and just want to see RBS crushing and get to the top, right? So that's all I'm trying to do. So we'll have to see. Let's go on. Let's talk about the next game. This is one to talk about for sure. Again, another 8:00 lock, right? A lot of games at 8:00. Dallas Maverick, Minnesota Timberwolves. Tony, Luka has been on fire. Hard to fade right now. What are you doing with Luka in this spot?
Yeah, same exact thing. I mean, as we talk about with these other studs, he's just a monster going into a pretty good matchup, monster projection on a slate where we're going to have value. Sticks out. Who are you going to play? Luka. Are you going to play Jokic? You're going to play Giannis. Same thing we have every night. I don't know. Honestly, as of right now, I don't know which one I'm going to play. I got 2 teams in that millie. I don't know. Like I want to play some Luka. I probably will play some Luka, but I don't know how I break it down yet. Depending on what happens before lock, I'll decide. Definitely in play though, as always. The rest of Dallas, not going to play. I'm looking up and down the prices. Nothing else sticks out really on that side. And then you look at Minnesota. Our boy Anthony Edwards has been totally crushing. Finally had a stinker in his last game where he just didn't do much. But, I mean, he's priced up. He just has upside. He's going to play a ton of minutes. Don't hate him. Cat has looked a little bit better lately. He's definitely in play too, and will be a little bit lower owned today too because of how many studs are on the slate. So nothing's too crazy in this game, but Cat, Luka, Edwards, some of the studs. I don't really see any of the values as being good plays on this slate just because we should have stuff popping in other spots. And yeah, that's it.
All right, Title, how about you? What do you want to do with this Dallas Mavericks and Timberwolves game? Dallas has been playing better defensively. Luka's been on fire. You mentioned this weekend, basically, I think we're in don't fade Luka mode. So is it don't fade Luka mode?
Yeah, I mean, Luka looks to have that step back jumper down. He was 8 for 9 or something against Portland. And that's a one thing. He hasn't shot the ball very well this year too, and he's still putting up monster numbers. Luka's my favorite spend up on the slate. He's going to be very chalky on both sites, but I'd rather get different and fade Harden today in tournaments than I would Luka personally, especially with him being questionable, Harden being questionable. So Luka's a very good play. The secondary pieces have better prices on FanDuel than they do DraftKings. Like Porzingis is 7.5K on FanDuel at a power forward position that isn't very good. Maxi Kleber is only 3.8K on FanDuel. That's way too cheap for him, and allows you to get the Lukas and the other spend ups Harden if you want him in cash. So I like those spots. Dorian Finney-Smith, if you need it as a last piece at 3.9K on FanDuel. Probably not for me on this big slate though, but it's Luka, it's Porzingis on FanDuel. And on Anthony Edwards, I like a lot in tournaments at 7.6K on DraftKings. Can't play him in cash, but he always has a ton of upside. We talk about how much he chucks it. I like him over Cat for the price. 10K for Cat. He will be low owned. It makes sense, but I'd rather go and get Giannis or Jokic today if I'm going to take a low owned stud. So I won't have any Cat.
Big T, is this a part of the show where we boo TitleTown for mentioning Porzingis' name? You and I don't like Porzingis. Gosh, he's been so bad, but I get his price is good on FanDuel. But what do we do with Porzingis on FanDuel, Big T?
I mean, I'm not playing Porzingis. I talked about it earlier where you click the dude's name, and if you just see everything below the number you want, I can't play Porzingis. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna do my best to stay away.
It's even as bad as if I land on him, I'm just gonna go back and rebuild. I'm going back to the drawing board.
I know. I'm just afraid of falling on him as the last guy in, and then I have to reshake everything up because that's how FanDuel is. You fall on dudes. I don't want to play you, but that's where I fell.
It happens a lot on FanDuel where you fall. I guarantee when I go and build my first build tonight, I'm going to land on Porzingis. I freaking guarantee it. It always happens.
Oh, it's so miserable. So we'll see how that goes. Porzingis is the worst. I'll do my best to stay away. Let's go from one guy we want to stay away from to a team we want to stay away from. We got the Clippers. We got the Spurs. We got K, Falix, Chartman talking about the Spurs. I got to go to you first, Tony, because Chartman was at it in the chat today. Talking about how you got to play these Spurs. I can't stay away from this 7-team rotation or whatever he said, 7-man rotation. Did you learn anything from the chart experience, Big T, today?
I just keep laughing because either he's running really bad with his charts or it's just the charts are broken because DeJounte Murray, I don't remember when I went on this tangent about him being 7,400, 7,800, 8,200. I'm like, the dude can't. He doesn't have that 50-point upside. I love him as a player. Freaking love him. I love him as a player if he was in the right spot. But you look, 26, 33, 27, 42, 24, 36, 24, 34. He has no games in the 50s. 15 games back you'd have to go to find anything in the 50s.
It was, by the way, it was on against the Knicks. It was 7.8K. He was on March 2nd, Tony. So it's almost been a month. We're about 22 days in. So it still hasn't hit. So I don't know. I mean, it hit the one time against Detroit, kind of at 42.
And that was 42. Is that even hitting? Yeah, that's fine. You'd take it, but you're not pulling your pants off for 42 at 7,700. I don't know. I faded the Spurs all year. It's worked all year. It hasn't been a slate that I can remember outside of a 2-gamer or something where I was like, man, I wish I had more Spurs. It just doesn't happen. You just don't. I don't know. I'll just keep fading them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I don't want to mess with the Clippers, right? Because what are the Clippers doing? They're looking to trade for Lonzo Ball, right? So someone could get traded. Of course, maybe I could jump on the Clippers if there's a guy get traded and we have tons of news that hits and then they're short.
You would need a shitload of news though, because the Clippers have so many dudes they play. I mean, the other night, you guys were still here for that, I think. You might not have been, but they were like getting trounced. And then all of a sudden the scrubs bring them back, and they bring their dudes back in the game.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to watch for that. That was the Hawks game, I think, the other day.
They didn't even want to play. Like, they didn't even want to play their guys, and they were forced to because the scrubs did so good.
Yep. So definitely have to watch for that. Titletown, any reason to play these guys? I think it's a good day to stay away from them, but maybe I'm wrong. What are you doing here?
The only Spur I have interest in is Derek White. He's played over 30. He's played like 33 minutes the past 4 games. He's only 5'2" on FanDuel. 5'8" on DraftKings is a little more pricey, but he's my favorite if I play any of them. My favorite Clipper is Zubac. 5'5" on DraftKings, 5K on FanDuel. His minutes have came down a little bit, but I always like playing Zubac. He gets a lot of rebounds, offensive rebounds. Then he can get his double-double bonus on DraftKings too. So I like Zubac in this spot. Kawhi and Paul George is fine if you land there, but it is a Kawhi revenge game. I know people are going to talk about it. I don't know how much that affects Kawhi now, if he wakes up different against the Spurs or not, but Kawhi 9K, Paul George 8.2K. Those are solid prices on DraftKings. I would limit to only one of them on this 11-game slate. And I think they do come in under owned because they're in that weird price range in the 8.2, 9K range. You're not going up for the Luka, Harden, Jokic, Giannis stuff. So I like one of them in tournaments as well, but Zubac's the best play in this game. Derek White's my only Spur.
Yeah, no, definitely think that makes sense. Zubac is someone you could have some interest in, but the problem is I just think it's too big of a slate and there's too much news that could come that I'm going to probably fade it. But we got 10 minutes to go. We got to get the likes up. We got to get the plays of the day. We're going to give away some swag, and we got to talk about the big game of the day, right? We got to talk about the Brooklyn Nets and the Utah Jazz. And Big T, is James Harden someone you're fading? Are you playing? It's a massive, massive slate, right? Something that we gotta look at. So what are you doing here with James Harden and these Nets guys?
Yeah, I think he's going to be crazy low owned, which brings him into play when he's got all the usage. And we've seen guards like Harden destroy the Jazz at times when they just have all the usage, because the Jazz are built to stop people at the rim. They're not as built to stop these guards. I mean, Westbrook went for like 80 on him a couple weeks ago, last week, whenever it was. I think Harden, if you backload, again, I'm playing 2 teams tonight in the Millie on DK. I'll probably backload one and then just go with maybe a front normal type build where I like Harden, and you can always pivot if you got enough people late. If Harden somehow sits, you can play. I mean, we still got the Sacramento game, which will be a good game. You'll be able to pivot. But if Harden plays, I mean, he's going to be pretty low owned for Harden, I think, just because it's a big spread. Well,
I disagree with you there. I think he's going to be
high owned.
I think he's going to be one of the more popular spend ups on the slate, him and Luka.
Yeah.
Mangone, what do you think? I could be wrong. I think people are going to try and bet. He was 76% yesterday with the questionable tag too. What do you think?
Yeah, but they weren't a 12-point dog.
No, 76. I also was surprised. I thought he was going to be like 90, to be honest. So
I faded him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that more people would just jam him in there for sure. I think
about 40% in tournaments, to be honest, is what I think. 65, 70 in cash.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm lagging a little bit, but if you can hear me, I think
titles lag. Titles
cash games.
Title.
Oh.
All
right, now I froze. I'm back now. 45% in tournaments, about 70% in cash. I think it'll be him and Luka.
Going to be 70% tonight.
Yeah. I think Harden and Luka are the two that most people are going to prioritize, and then I think next
what are cash people going to do when he doesn't play?
Yeah, then backloading, like TLC is going to be popular. Claxton's going to be popular. I think a lot of people are just going to backload tonight and have Harden in their lineup and have a placeholder for him. That's why I don't like Harden in tournaments at all, because he is questionable. I think he is higher owned, and I don't think it's a good spot for him as much personally, but projections, he's grading out really well.
So a couple things. We got some news that Nick Nurse said Lowry and Powell, he expects to play. There's no reason for them to sit tonight. So that's what he says. The Harden stuff. So JSU is going to laugh at you, Tony, because he's like, oh, he always plays every game. I don't know. I thought yesterday he would sit because there's an ESPN game tonight. So I assumed you sit him again, game against Portland. You play him on the ESPN game. It was like he went from basically, oh, I'm fine, to questionable. So I figured that was the case. I'm just going to assume he's playing. And I'm okay if he plays. And the reason why I'm okay with him playing is because I do think we have enough to backload to, right? Like, I think we have guys we can go to. There's obviously another 10 o'clock game. You can go to a Donovan Mitchell if you want. Obviously, then you're worried about blowout, right? But you can go to a Rudy Gobert if you put him in the utility and then pay up somewhere else. You can go to the Atlanta-Sacramento game. There's a lot of plays you can go there. There's two guards, right? There's De'Aaron Fox. There's Trae Young. There's just opportunity there where I think you want to put Harden on in your lineup. And then I think you just kind of pivot to somewhere else if you need to later on. Obviously, if there was no other 10 o'clock game, it would be really dicey. And I think people would not be jamming him in. I think they'd be a little more concerned, and then he'd go a little under-owned. After saying all that, Big T, what do you kind of think of everything?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like doing this show. That's why this is part of my process, doing the show, working through it. You guys convinced me. I mean, if the dude's going to be 40, 50% on, I'm fading. Like, I'm just not going to play him. Like, I like the spot because in my head, I thought he would be low owned where, yeah, I like him low owned. I hate him high owned. I think they could easily get blown out. Yeah, I'm fading Harden for sure now. Like, easy fade for me. Maybe you play some of the cheaper guys, but honestly, I don't like the spot for Brooklyn. I don't even like the spot for our boy Nico Claxton. It's a tough spot. We've been on him. I was one of the first ones on him. We've rode him as Run Pure. I don't love it against Gobert, though, especially if he's going to be chalky. And I don't know. I don't like the spot. So I might just fade Brooklyn. And one of the things we've talked about all year with Utah is Donovan Mitchell playing, even if it blows out. Man, I love Mitchell tonight as a low-owned play. He's going against Brooklyn. He's coming off a 60, a 50, a 50. And you're going to get Donovan Mitchell as long as Harden plays and people don't pivot. You're going to get him below 5% owned, I have to imagine. And I love him as a late hammer tonight against this Brooklyn team. It's on TV, you guys said, right? They want to make a statement. Sign me up for Donovan Mitchell in this game without a doubt.
Yeah, and obviously that's someone you can pivot to over Harden if you have him in there.
God, yeah. If Harden sits and people pivot to Donovan, that's going to break my heart because I don't want people pivoting onto that.
But they might not even do that. See, I think they're going to pivot to Fox and Trae, right? That's what I think they pivot to instead.
I think, yeah.
So me and Tyler are agreeing on it. Then it's normally what's probably going to happen, I would say.
This is another thing too. So we've played bigs against Brooklyn. I just feel very confident in basketball knowledge over projections. Yeah, we played bigs against Brooklyn, but Gobert to me is not a normal scoring big. Like, I don't like his spot as much as other bigs against Brooklyn. It's just what it is. Maybe it's just my hate for Gobert though too. Like, I'm not a Gobert guy. So
what about I know you didn't like Claxton, right, Tony? But like, there are not a lot of centers there, right? Like, they don't have a lot of bigs. Like, Blake Griffin is out too. And I know Blake didn't play a pile of minutes, right? But that is 19 minutes that has to go somewhere. Now, there's a chance it could go to, what was his name? I think, is he still on this team?
When this game blows out, though, like, any of these dudes could play.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Perry, but like, there's just not a lot of guys. And like, you can make a case like, are they going to play DeAndre Jordan and Jeff Green? Or are they going to play Claxton? Part of me thinks they're just going to play Claxton instead. So, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. Obviously, would they play Claxton and Perry? Probably not. And that's why you can make a case. Maybe Perry is the guy who gets the run. I'm not going to play the guessing game.
If this game's blowing out, I highly doubt they have Claxton just running into the scrub time, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I say it is like the guys I'm looking at, right? Would it be Joe Harris? I don't think so. So it just starts
to have dudes like on the bottom of the roster, like Elise Johnson. I mean, I don't know, some of these dudes. They got to have dudes down there. How many dudes do they even have on the team? They got to have a decent amount.
Is Elise even on the – I'm looking for Elise now. I can't even find him. So
I see him projected. It doesn't mean he's on there, though. I obviously am not the best with that news.
Yeah,
I just see him projected.
Elise – So is Elise on Toronto? Like, he's on so he's listed as a Toronto Raptor on DraftKings.
He's in my Brooklyn projection, so I have no idea.
It
could be wrong.
I'm literally so confused because I see Elise Toronto on the DraftKings site.
Whatever it is. I mean, yeah, he might or might not be. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, but he's there
I don't know.
8 minutes. So
he might not be. All I know is I see him in my projections right now. So Doesn't mean it's right though.
Yeah, we definitely talked about a lot here with this game. Title, give me your final thoughts here on the Brooklyn and Utah game.
Yeah, this is the biggest game on the slate because if Harden plays, I in cash games, I'm gonna have a spot. I'm gonna have Harden in my lineups on both sites. So if he plays, I'm gonna play him in cash games, and I think he's gonna be popular. In tournaments, I would have no Harden just because he is already questionable. He is popular. I think this is a very good spot for Utah on ESPN. Utah is just plays very good team basketball. And I think you need more than just one superstar and Harden to beat them. It's on a back-to-back. So in tournaments, it's an easy fade for me and Harden. When I say easy, yes, he still could put up 75. It's James Harden after all, but you have to make a stand. Underweight in tournaments. I'm going to have a spot in cash games. TLC at 3,100 is going to be one of the more popular plays on DraftKings. I like Claxton at 4K too. It is a tougher matchup against Gobert, but I'm just buying in on the talent at this point at 4K. That price is too cheap for his role. Bruce Brown at 4.7K, Jeff Green at 4.4K. I like all those plays as value, even if Harden is in, and it allows you to also backload your lineup more and have more flexibility in case he does sit. You get, if you want Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, if you want Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox, there is one more lock game at 10 Eastern. So this is the biggest news on the slate. We have to know what Harden does. Cash games, I'm going to play him. Tournaments, I'm not going to. And then I like the other pieces, Claxton, TLC, Jeff Green, etc.
All right, well, Big T, if you backload for this game, right, what are you doing with the Hawks and Kings? Like, let's say for some reason you want to go over there. Let's say you're dead, right? You're behind and you have all these nets and they're high owned. There's a pivot that you can go to at that Kings and Hawks game. So what are you doing with this game? Is it one that you want to get exposure to tonight?
I mean, the chat has me so tilted about this Gobert. The Cantor scored 55 last night. If I have to tell you the differences between Cantor and Gobert, then you got issues. Like, Cantor is a GOAT offensive player. Gobert is a GOAT defensive player. They're literally the exact opposite. They're not.
Yeah, they're literally polar opposites.
They're literally not the same remote at all. But yeah, back to the next game. Sacramento, I mean, Halliburton remains super cheap against Atlanta. De'Aaron Fox should be pretty low owned, always has upside. Harrison Barnes is the guy I hear a bunch in trade talks, so we got to watch him tonight and just see, because that would open up a bunch of stuff. Like Bielisa at 3,400, Buddy would become a better play. I mean, Sacramento has to be a little bit in the trade market with a few of these guys. So, yeah, I think you can play almost anyone that for sure starts for them. And I don't know. I think Sacramento is a perfect team to just wait and see kind of who they start. If they make a trade, just wait on the news, because there's going to be good plays against Atlanta. And then you go to the Atlanta side, same thing. Trae Young has been terrible this year, but he's going against Sacramento, who is the number one team I like to target in fantasy. They play zero defense. If there's ever been a time for Trae Young to get going, it's tonight versus Sacramento. We got DeAndre Hunter. Has he played again yet, or is this his first game back?
Hunter has played. I believe
he came back last game, I think, on a minutes
limit. A little bit of limited minutes.
Yeah, minutes have trended from. He played 20 in the first game.
So I mean, I'll just say, like, this game is the perfect game to backload and just see what you like later in the night as news hits. I think almost everyone in this game, like Bogdan, well, what's his minute? Let me pull his minutes up here real quick. Bogdan's been trending the right direction, though, from what I've seen. He played
20, 29, 29, 21 in the last four.
And that 21 was a weird game, too. So if he gets back to the 29, I mean, he had 37 fantasy points. He's still 4K. You want to talk about a nice late hammer against the old team? I mean, we talk about the revenge element. It might not be revengeful. It's still his old team that, I don't know. The dude is super cheap if he plays 29 minutes. I'll tell you that much. For a late hammer against Sacramento, you could do a lot worse than Bogdan as your late hammer at 4K. I'll say that much. So I like him, man. You'll be able to play a ton of these guys. Backload, wait on the news, the trades, everything else. Tons of stuff. We'll be in the Discord. We'll be able to help out a lot with the late news. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely feels like a good idea to do that and mess with that game. Title, how about you? How are you handling this Kings and Hawks game?
Yeah, I love that Bogdanovich call at 4K. He's going to be really low owned. And I like the idea of backloading today, like we've talked about, because of how important this Harden news is. I'm fine locking in tournaments, locking a stud or two, and then because if Harden's out, you're going to want all that value. And with this game is very
questionable on top of it.
Yeah, that's why I think Gallo is questionable, and there was like talks of Hunter maybe getting some boost because of that.
That might be the nuts.
Yeah, and he'll be low owned too. So I really like that. I like Clint Capella in this matchup, 7.3K on DraftKings, 7.2 on FanDuel. Always has a lot of stock upside. Tyrese Halliburton, as Big T said, he's just too cheap on both sites at 5.7K. He's a 6.5, 7K player. So I'll take that. I'll eat that chalk. I think it's good. Trae Young, like you mentioned, Trae Young and De'Aaron Fox would be my preferred. If you have Harden and cash and you need a switch, I like those two as the swaps and spend ups. I lean Trae Young with a little cheaper price tag. He had a decent game last game, but it's a very good spot against Sacramento. Close spread, big total. There's a lot of pieces in this game, depending on the news and if you backload. So Tyrese Halliburton, the best play, then Bogdanovich, Trae Young, Capella, Fox. I like going to them.
All right, so I'm opening up the chat here. We got 957 watching Big T. We got 563 likes. You guys could hit that subscribe on the video. Helps us out. Big T, talk to me here. What are we doing? We giving away some swag? We giving away the plays? What's the plan here?
Yeah, they came through today. I'll tell you the most tilting thing too about what we do. I already have a guy on Twitter grilling me about my FanDuel core. Like, there's nothing more tilting than people wanting the core at 605. You can't have it both ways. I could go on a rant about this forever. I did it a little hard. You want me to put it up or do you want the actual plays? I'm not holding it on people. Like, I don't know why people think like we just know what our plays are. It's not automatic. We got to work through the numbers. We got to see what happens. It's not instant. I wish it was, believe me. I wish I knew how I was playing right now for sure. But at 603, I can't. You're never gonna have my core at 603.
Yeah, and it's like I don't mean to be like that guy, but it's like that's why we have this edge, right? And like that's why if you're in the chat, we make it as easy as possible for you guys, trying to help you out. And I don't even know who I'm playing yet, right? Like I could not tell you what my lineup is going to be. I'm gonna backload and try and figure some stuff out, right? I'm probably fading that first game, and as news comes in, I'm gonna digest it. I'm gonna be in the Discord chat, trying to help you guys out, trying to discuss everything, updating the content. Title, I think you're in the same camp as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's 606 on an 11 game slate with the trade deadline, and like of all days, especially your lineup's going to change a million times a night. So yeah, if you want, everyone's grills Big T about the core not being up early enough. If he gets it up early, it's going to change probably almost every player, most of them.
Then they'll complain the opposite way, though. They'll be like, oh, you had him in your core, and then you changed it to this dude. Can't win. I will say the good thing is a lot of the members, we built up a strong base. Tons of them know how it works, and they get on the people that do that. So we have built up a nice base of people that understand it. So and an important night where you can fade the first one. I could even put my core up tonight where it says the old no 7 o'clock players, and then I'll really have people rattled because they really don't know what to do when I put that in there.
And I will say the site takes about 2 to 5 minutes to update your teams. Big T posted in Discord right away too, the core in that lag period. So if you're a member at RPS, you need to make sure you get in Discord. It's by far the best. It's every second you get up to lock, answer question stuff. So make sure to join that if you're a member too.
Yeah, and some people are talking, someone from some other site gave me a core already. Okay, good, cool. Like, we're at the top of the leaderboards. We'll give you our core, and we'll do our best to help you out and get you the winners, right? That's, I think, one reason why we've been up there as well. I do want to mention, don't want to disrespect JT, right? We should have mentioned Tony Snell in the last game. He's been absolutely crushing it. So, JT, you'll have all the Discord Tony Snell takes in the chat for the people. Just want to give a shout out to JT and Tony Snell. So we'll give away some gear. We'll be looking for that chatter, Big T, but we got to do our plays of the day. But I'm going to go to TitleTown first. What do you got for me, Title? Give me your SO play of the day.
Yeah, so it's a huge slate, a lot of options, but my SO play of the day today is Christian Wood, 8,100 on both sites. He's in that weird range where people are going to go stars and scrubs and forget about him. I love the Charlotte side with their prices, Malik Monk, Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, Hayward. And I want to run back. It's a close spread, solid total. I think Christian Wood at 8,100. If he gets 36 minutes again, like 2 games ago, he's getting a 55, 60 bomb and breaking this slate. So give me Christian Wood as my SO play of the day.
All right, Tony. So I can go and give you a play that's going to hurt your feelings, or I can just give you one in the Discord chat later on. You choose. I'll let you be the decider. Do you want my play now, or would you like it in the Discord later on?
Yeah, I want it now.
You want it now? Okay, well, I'm going to give you Lou Dort, baby. So that's going to be the dry home play of the day.
I think we're gonna win all the money tonight. Whatever you put a bad play like that, we always roll that.
Hey, if I will take giving a bad play out every day if it helps our subscribers win every single time. I will do that. No doubt. I will definitely be the fall guy. If someone's got to do it, I can take the hit for us. But that's who I'll give you. I'll give you Mr. Lou Dort. He's been driving to the hoop more. He's been more involved in the offense. I love Lou Dort here at 5.0K.
Does he still shoot that jumper that hits the ceiling when he shoots it?
Tony, he doesn't shoot as much. He handles the ball more because they realized he can't do that anymore. He cannot shoot. They're basically turning him from that 3-and-D wing defender to more of a he can shoot every once in a while and he can drive to the hoop and be the defender, right? They want him facilitating more. So that is why, again, 22 shots last game. Can't complain about that. So I'll go with Lou Dort. And hey, if that gets someone over the finish line, I'm a very happy camper over here at Run Pure Sports. Big T, I'll go over to you. The people want
it. Did you see my Guthrie's hat? You love that Guthrie's chicken.
Oh, I do love the Guthrie's chicken. Guthrie's chicken was one of my favorite things this weekend. So got to get that Guthrie's from our boy Bill, right?
Big Bill hooked us up with some food from Guthrie's, Donato's. He took care of the boys. He sent us
the
over
gym.
The feast.
Bill's the man.
Bill took care of it all, the gym as well. So yeah, Guthrie's chicken, shout out to them. I definitely.
Mangone was loving that Guthrie's chicken too. He was talking about how the taste inside the chicken,
so good.
Whatever the line was you used.
Oh,
you went
man.
6 to midnight, one bite in there, you could hear.
He went downstairs for a minute after he ate that chicken. He had to take care of a few things.
Yeah, I made sure Title wasn't there cuddling with anyone when I did that. You know. Gotta make sure he wasn't there for that one. But Tony, the people are waiting, right? It's been a while, right? You've had some college basketball shows, but they need the workbench play of the day. So, Big T, give the people your workbench play of the day.
Yeah, there's only one. It's another day where there was only one option the whole way for me. I knew who he was going to be before the show started. Think that's a good thing. It's not going to be a cheap guy tonight. It's going to be a stud, and it's Donovan Mitchell. I think it's the late hammer against Brooklyn. He's going to be under 5% owned. I think he gets us 50 plus for 8,800. I think he crushes. Great spot, unowned, stud, hammer. He checks every box you could want for the workbench play. So give me Donovan Mitchell tonight.
All right, Mr. Donnie Mitchell is that workbench player of the day. We got to go, though. We got JSU and Holden coming up on the premium show. If you want to sign up and check that out, use the code HEATER25. You get 25% off your first payment. But that wraps it up for us, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. For me, Mangone, TitleTown, and Big T.
Good luck, everybody.